From olive-colored skin to chocolate brown, lipsticks and lip gloss should be color-rich, long-lasting, bold, and luscious. Bold and Luscious Cosmetics. Find them at balcosmetics.com. Complete with vitamin E, lanolin, and antioxidants, Bold and Luscious gives you soft, moisturized lips all day. Reds, nudes, pinks, darks, bright. balcosmetics.com. balcosmetics.com.
And all the Tims rejoice as the motherfucking shit is back. What's up, everyone? It's your homegirl, Ivy, Katie, whatever you want to call me, but talk to me nice because our guest that's coming on tonight, Miss Brittany K. Official, she don't like ugly guys. So, as usual, you can catch us on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com, Mondays at 10 a.m. and Thursdays at 8 p.m. You can catch us also on YouTube and Twitch at Rawrrzone NYC. Catch us Wednesdays, 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time on Pulso 82.3 FM via the Live 365 app. And then we with our new pals at the Evening Rush Network Radio. Shout out to Don and the entire team for not only allowing Rawrrzone to be in the building, but they gave me an amazing opportunity to be program director of their radio station. It's an honor, you know, to see people that are your peers and people that you have looked up to recognize you and put you in that same light that you idolize them at. But of course, afterwards, you find us wherever you may stream your podcast. Share this live with a friend. We're trying to get our numbers up. We're trying to do the good old fight that we're always doing. We on the road to sarcoma. Our road to the give back is March 22nd. We'll talk more about that when we come back from our music break. As usual, if you wanted to send your music, email us at mnybooking@gmail.com. We have a dope lineup for you today. We have a whole bunch of new music, including the return of So Phenomenal's own Phenom. If you guys didn't know or looked at past episodes, Phenom actually survived a brain stroke. And it took him a while to come back from, you know, the trauma behind it and everything. But he put out his new single, Living So Phenomenal. And we're actually going to kick off with that now. Remember, we got Miss Brittany K in the building. So share this. Tell us where you checked in from. And yeah, let's get to it. This is Welcome to the Rawrrzone on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com, YouTube and Twitch at Rawrrzone NYC. And of course, at our home of Pulso 82.3 FM and the Evening Rush Radio Network. Let's get this shit.
Love you, never leave you, that ain't what I do. I'm at the altar like, baby, I do. What a dream come true, happily ever after. Fairy tale love, ready for the next chapter. Laughter, that's what we live by. Money ain't enough, 6 more for us to get by. Ask why, cause we ain't trying to survive. We gon' live it to the limit, then we gon' thrive. I'm gone, and I never ever. Always, baby, always, baby. I'm gone, and I never ever. Always, baby, always, baby. Tell me, can we go back there? The place that we hold so dear. Yeah, you ain't gotta be scared. Now all in, we can live here. Right here, any way that you want to. Nobody else, just us two. You, views of the water so blue, living so phenomenal. Round 2 like it's new, let's make it official. Talking old new, bald and blue, baby, what's the issue? New lifestyle, tell me what you like now. We some thoughts on your mind, baby, let them pipe down. We don't need none of that, real love right here, baby, let's run it back. Hard in my sleeve like a fresh tat, up out of here like I stepped the back. I done found the one, ain't nothing after that. And I know I got yours, I know I got flaws, but you see much more. This, that, and those, baby, all yours. Ain't going nowhere, what's the future have in store? Always at my back, and I know I got yours. I know I got flaws, but you see much more. This, that, and those, baby, all yours. Ain't going nowhere, what's the future have in store? just us two. Views of the water so blue, living so phenomenal.
Walking like sauce. I can tell the story where them booty ate them shorts. Bitches throwing salt, hating cause it's bored. Don't care about none of that, as long as the bitch still soft. She clout chasing, she gon' do it for some grand. She gonna shake that booty, for the gram. She a stoner, so she gon' do it for some gram. She ain't playing tuition, she gon' do it on the ground. She got her OnlyFans, she gon' do it for the cam. She gon' do it with no hands. Thank for what she give me because she got yams. You thought you was fucking, she gon' ruin your little plans. Let me ask you a little question, how you get inside the pants? You say you saving money, but you moved in with your parents. Acting like you got it back, wearing shoes on clearance. Acting like you running shit, but you running errands. If you ain't got no cash, then don't come nearer. She loves shaking that ass up in the mirror. Don't care about race, Fast and the Furious. She threw it in her friend block past interference.
Next breaking, she go left to right. About to go 4 rounds, call it Tyson fight. Put that Wakanda pipe. She said I'm something to remember. Swept her off her feet, ain't no loser, man. I'm a winner, the only one to consider a top cat situation. I'm taking something home if she bad, no hesitation. DPE the nation, better know we comes with it. Supporters, they be owners and haters, and they be living. To the women, they get it. They do it all for that zucchini. A magician, just like Houdini. You a noodle linguine. I got lobster in my pasta. Pop that booty for a bone cloud roster. Don't roll with imposters, then I call them a hoe. Just break it down to the ground and put them ones off the floor. Every day I want more. You get it, time is money. Don't do no favors for the paper, do it all for the honeys.
This has its own magic.
For them road, see me posted. By the way, we be scoping all these chicks who be thick. We notice we be going store to store. She be glowing, she showing off with some shopping bag. She be holding. I'm like, yeah, mommy, I'm the Clyde to your Bonnie, trying to be on your body. Breast perky, never soggy. Chula, she call me Bobby like Lottie Dottie. Body got me moving just like a zombie. This ain't Thriller, mommy, but I stab like a killer. Yeah, we be grooving. Doesn't matter if she a Rican, Dominican, Colombian, or Cuban. She be acting naughty. Hands on her knees, shorty be squatting, feeling for doggy, dropping her ass on me like I'm a potty. Yeah, I like Miami, but we was in New York. Treating me just like champagne after popping the cork. Oh Lord, had my attention and it clearly showed. Miami United was hella hot off Fordham Road, yeah.
Flow de Miami, but she from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero baila en el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca, yeah. Flow de Miami, but she from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero baila en el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca. Yeah.
Hola, ¿cómo estás? ¿Cómo te llama? Mi nombre es Ray, pero tú just call me Suave. I figure I holler after looking from afar. I thought the sky fell, cause all I see is a star. Skin tight dress, thought it was painted on you. I'm ready for whatever orders, like I waited on you. You ain't faced by the stairs, or shorties hating on you. It's like you don't even care, I swear, the way you do your hair. Oh yeah, plus you be smiling. I'm saying you could drop it on me like I was a chair. Woo. Jet flying as if my name was Flair. I admit it, I'm stingy, I never like to share. Take me there, to your place. Those clothes I'm about to tear off your body, leave a trace. Your legs up in the air. Super pleased, the look up on your face, we laying bare. Naked, but I think I forgot your name.
Flor en Miami, but she's from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero baila en el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, y ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca. Yeah. Flor en Miami, but she's from New York. Se hizo el culo en Colombia, pero baila en el Bronx. El oscuro, el claro, y ya lo mezcla. Siempre que me tira es para ponerse fresca. Yeah.
Can't Yeah. Yeah, nigga. Niggas always capping, I mean every word. Yeah, it's different. Yeah. Early in the morning, way before the birds, I be in the kitchen. Niggas always capping, I mean every word. I don't ever listen. Ballin', lin, lin. 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 500 for the K, 40K for my neck piece. This bitch for the streets. Who let it get next to me? I move on go. You move too slow. Early bird get the worm. I'm late, I blow. I'm made in these streets. Try and reach my neck piece. You gon' lay in these streets. Dead body right next to me. 200 for the test. Ooh, them one test. Thank God I'm blessed. I stayed, you left. Let's get it. Early in the morning, way before the birds. I be in the kitchen. Niggas always capping, I mean every word. I don't ever listen. Ballin', lin, lin. 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 EIN for the win, so them cracks gon' let me. I'm avoiding that pin. How much you won't bet me? Market low, I cop. Another ball you drop. Ugly, broke, two things I'm not. GR on the ink. Figure out how that trust work. Don't hand out zinc. Only thing I trust work. 200 for the test. Ooh, them one test. I stayed, you left. Thank God I'm blessed. Let's get it. Early in the morning, way before the birds. I be in the kitchen. Niggas always capping, I mean every word. I don't ever listen. Ballin', lin, lin. 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 Ballin', lin, lin.
about to bring that beat on from New Orleans. Cause guess what? Jamaica booty go. Jamaica booty go.
Dog, walking like sauce. I can tell the starving where them booty ate them shorts. Bitches throwing salt, hating cause it's bored. Don't care about none of that, as long as the bitch still soft. She clout chasing, she gon' do it for some grand. She gonna shake that booty, for the gram. She a stoner, so she gon' do it for some grams. She ain't playing tuition, she gon' do it on the ground. She got her OnlyFans, she gon' do it for the cam. She gon' do it with no hands. Thank for what she give me because she got yams. You thought you was fucking, she gon' ruin your little plans. Let me ask you a little question, how you get inside the pants? You say you saving money, but you moved in with your parents. Acting like you got a bag, wearing shoes on clearance. Acting like you running shit, but you running errands. If you ain't got no cash, then don't come near her. She loves shaking that ass up in the mirror. Don't care about race, Fast and the Furious. She threw it in her friend block past interference.
Next breaking, she go left to right. About to go 4 rounds, call it Tyson fight. With that Wakanda pipe, she said I'm something to remember. Swept her off her feet, ain't no loser, man. I'm a winner, the only one to consider a top cat situation. I'm taking something home if she bad, no hesitation. DPE be the nation, better know we comes with it. Supporters, they be honest and haters, and they be living. To the women, they get it, they do it all for that zucchini. A magician, just like Houdini, you a noodle linguine. I got lobster in my pasta. Pop that booty for a bone cloud roster. Don't roll with imposters, then I call them a hoe. Just break it down to the ground, then put them ones off the floor. Every day I want more, you get it, time is money. Don't do no favors for the paper, do it all for the honeys.
This has its own magic.
Never leave you, that ain't what I do. I'm at the altar like baby I do. Where the dream come true, happily ever after. Fairy tale love, ready for the next chapter. Laughter, that's what we live by. Money ain't enough, 6 more for us to get by. Ask why, cause we ain't trying to survive. We gon' live it to the limit, then we gon' thrive. I'm gone, and I never ever. Always baby, always baby. I'm gone, and I never ever. Always baby, always baby. Tell me, can we go back there? That place that we hold so dear. Yeah, you ain't gotta be scared. Now I'm all in, we can live here. Right here, any way that you want to. Nobody else, just us two. You, views of the water so blue, living so phenomenal. Round 2 like it's new, let's make it official. Talking old new, bald and blue, baby, what's the issue? New lifestyle, tell me what you like now. We some thoughts on your mind, baby, let them pipe down. We don't need none of that, real love right here, baby, let's run it back. Hard on my sleeve like a fresh tat, up out of here like I stepped the back. I done found the one, ain't nothing after that. And I know I got yours, I know I got flaws, but you see much more. This, that, and those, baby, you're yours. Ain't going nowhere, what's the future have in store? It's at my back and I know I got yours. I know I got flaws, but you see much more. This, that, and those, baby, you're yours. Ain't going nowhere, what's the future have in store? I love you, I love you. water so blue, living so phenomenal.
Whole lot of blood, sweat, tears for this old shit. Yeah, I put my life all on the line for this up. Yeah, told my mama I'ma shine cause I'm so. Yeah, told my lady go and pick me up cause you was up. Yeah, told my baby fix your crown, you a huh. Look, I'ma put the voodoo on their head, they wanna go. Yeah, like where that boy from, we don't know. Yeah, heard the grass is greener on that side, we don't know. Yeah. But I know I'm from the K, I got no fear. Baby, I'm a zo, 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 yeah. I'm a zo, yeah. I done died all up in that trap, then I came back. I done lost some baddies in the trap, now I hang with that. I done put some niggas on the packs, go have fun with that. I done served 100 packs, I done made 200 back. Baby, I'm a zo, 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 yeah.
Statute of limitations,
I'm a zo, yeah.
Let me talk to him. 150 in the hole. Puta tried to stick a nigga. Esquire on the phone. That's a Uber, I'ma lift it, nigga. Since a youngin' I was told, till 25, how you gifted, nigga? You effing left on the gear. Transmission, I'ma shift it, nigga. Niggas talk about Zion. My last name was Morris. Then they wonder how I'm so resilient. Pay attention to the chorus. I was up late nights with Claude. This shit gotta pop. And seeing how God gave a nigga crack, that shit was bound to rock. I done gave these bitches all my time. They get shit back. Couple of them too when shit was paid. That's a gift wrap. Here go Biden 10 years later. Let me get that. My bitch said you looking like some cheese. She won't switch that.
Baby, I'm a zo, 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 yeah. I'm a zo, yeah.
Hey guys, thank you for tapping in with us so far. We got a few more joints left, and then we got Miss Brittany K in the building. I am so excited for this. Remember, we are powered by Bold and Luscious Cosmetics. Catch us on our website, www.rawrzonenyc.com. And of course, YouTube, Twitch, wherever you may stream your podcast, Rawrrzone NYC and Rawrrzone Media. Wednesdays we on Puso 82.3 FM, and Fridays on the Evening Rush Radio Network. But let me not waste no more time. Let's get back to it.
What's good, Sue?
Isaiah, don't get gas.
I say that I'm in love, but I'm really in lust. These niggas be tryna compete with the game, they ain't fucking with us. Bad bitch, said that I want it, but I want Paris. That we married. I be on the road, I can be fucking with marriage. When I hit it, I make her go crazy. Wanna help her, little shorty too lazy. She put in overtime for that work. Way up the way, but she gon' make it work. She be waking up, she looking pretty. Ain't no need for that makeup. Fuck her, I put her to sleep. Then I'ma sing her the tune right to her. Who got the baddest? Big game on the planet. These hoes love me and I don't understand it. Leave me alone. Yeah, fuck a bitch and make her. Yeah, fuck a bitch and make her. Swear that I fuck a bitch and make her. Yeah, fuck a bitch and make her. Only for you I do it. I put my heart up in the music. They say they got phones and they grand stories. Pull up on them, they don't use them. Yeah, I'm tryna put you on, know my life get crazy. Yeah, she wanna fuck with a real nigga. Pull up on her like maybe. I be talking real smooth like gravy. Throw it up, I'ma catch it like Throw it up, I'ma catch it like Brady. I be fucking like I'm making babies. No, I don't got no time for no baby. Palming that ass like a pump with no baby. Swear that the hood really made me. I'm a certified real trans baby. Yeah. I say that I'm in love, but I'm really in lust. These niggas be tryna compete with the game, they ain't fuck with us. want Paris. I be on the road, I don't got time for the marriage. When I hit it, I make her go crazy. Wanna help a little shorty too, wanna help a little shorty too lazy. She put in overtime for that work. Yeah, wait, but she gon' make it work. She be waking up, she looking pretty. Ain't no need for that makeup on. Go to sleep, I'ma sing this to her. Who got the baddest? Big game on the planet. These hoes love me and I don't understand it. Leave me alone. Fuck a bitch, I make her. When I fuck a bitch, I make her. When I fuck a bitch, I make her. Yeah. Fuck a bitch, I make her. When I fuck a bitch, I make her.
Bring it back right now, yeah. Fire. What you waiting for?
I love the taste of your neck in the morning. I love the sound that you make when you're moaning. The taste of your lips, I just can't get enough. Only you can bring me what I crave. You can take all of me, let's misbehave. Every kiss, I'm addicted, I just can't resist. Let's skip all the talking, begin to exploring.
Bring it back, tell me what you will and wouldn't do. Bring it back, tell me what you will and wouldn't do. You here, now what you waiting for, baby, cause the coast is clear. I got the patio waiting in a bottle of bubbly. Your body's been calling and you're oh so lovely. Now bounce real slow to the rhythm of heat. I wanna see your legs up by the side of my cheeks and we can clap. I wanna see that thing bounce back. Down below, come and give me what you can't take back. I'm a boss to your business, let me run that edge. Let me slither like a snake, cause your bark don't miss. And you wish that you didn't take me early enough. You think I'm gas and make a move, try to call this bluff, yeah.
It's where we at. Infamous Ty, S-Rock. Let's get into it.
Big checks and deposits.
Going straight to the bank.
Tour money, show money.
Going straight to the bank.
See what New deals, brand deals.
Going straight to the bank.
Take them there. You hating on me?
I'm going straight to the bank. Let's go.
Big checks and deposits.
Going straight to the bank.
Tour money, show money.
Going straight to the bank.
New deals, brand deals.
Going straight to the bank.
Let's cash you hating out. On me?
I'm going straight to the bank.
Blue face, green face. That's all I think about. Hit a check, hit deposit, then I cash out. Grind in real life, don't do this for clout. Tunnel vision, fast lane, yeah, I stay en route. You hating on me, don't know what's that about. Mad cause I grind it out, Why you tap out? Sun up to sundown, all 7 days. No days off, you asking for a handout. Always been patient, never been in doubt. I'm my own boss, why you clock in and out? Shit is real sad when you hate on the next man. Talk and gossiping your entire lifespan. I'm the man, been a man with a game plan. Me and Rock the boss, never was a yes man. I'm the man, been a man with a game plan. Me and Rock the boss, never was a yes man. Checks and deposits,
going straight to the bank.
That's right. Money, show money,
going straight to the bank.
New deals, brand deals,
going straight to the bank. Cashing out,
you hating on me?
I'm going straight to the bank.
Big checks and deposits,
going straight to the bank.
Tour money, show money,
going straight to the bank.
New deals, brand deals,
going straight to the bank.
You hating on me?
I'm going straight to the bank. I've been counting money for a long time. Not rich, but I move with a strong mind. Wealthy thoughts got me hustling with a strong grind. And if I'm never on the clock, you got the wrong time. $250,000 off the passion, I'm about that action. The path was never straight, but I move with traction. I'm doing what it takes, ain't no hand to tag in. I'm moving on my beat, whoever with it tap in. I've been dancing on the move slick, it's all about the bounce. Catching plays when I sprint, often run the right route. Catch and go, but I can take what I throw. All shots and run the point and guard the goal. Missed all in one spot, just a sport and I'ma play. Running straight to the bank, add it up, cashing out, all the money off the plate. This vision is clear, I'm on a mission this year. Any year, I appear, cause what you're missing is here.
Big checks and deposits,
going straight to the bank.
Tour money, show money,
going straight to the bank.
New deals, brand deals,
going straight to the bank.
You hating on me?
I'm going straight to the bank.
Big checks and deposits,
going straight to the bank.
Tour money, show money,
going straight to the bank.
New deals, brand deals,
going straight to the bank.
You hating on me?
I'm going straight to the bank. To the bank. You see what this is? This is what they needed, right? We put that grind and don't think we working for nothing. That money come in and go straight to the bank, you heard? Infamous Ty, S-Rock, straight to the bank.
Yeah. Latinos. Hood shit. Miami life shit.
El barrio anda pidiendo rap, rap, porque mi música es rap, rap. Yo soy latino y hago rap, rap. Yo soy un líder en el rap, rap. En el orden suena rap, 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 rap. Y duro como yo en el rap, 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 rap. Lo mío suena en el rap, 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 rap. Gano billetes en el
Colombia
y no paramos. Look, suéltalo, el 808 aquí rebota. Strip club, bitches perking la nalgota. Este es el sonido que al barrio alborota. Yo vine por mi pedazo de la torta. Verídico, lírico, ve. Perico las pone en 3, en 4 y en 5. Chillan apenas a 5. No me vengan con los cuenticos. Esto es trap, motherfucker, yo consigo mi billetico. Y allí sí me inspiró, el talento me tocó. Siento que este es mi momento, amén. Y Miami confió, ahora tengo el control, enfocados en ganar papel. El barrio anda pidiendo rap, rap, porque mi música es rap, rap. Yo soy latino y hago rap, rap. Yo soy un líder en el rap, rap. En el orden suena rap, 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 rap. Ninguno como yo en el rap, 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 rap. Lo mío suena en el rap, 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 rap. Gano billetes en el rap, 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 rap. Lo que pasa es que el muchacho es demasiado original, por eso que a algunos les conviene criticar. Después que los ayudo a criar, no me rompan la pelota. Ellos a mí me copian, se autoexpropian, tratan de hacerlo igual, pero no lo logran. Sus carreras son demasiadas cortas. Yo soy la voz que escuchan en su nota. Esta es su nota. Y allí sí me inspiró, el talento me tocó. Siento que este es mi momento, amén. Y Miami confió, ahora tengo el control, enfocados en ganar papel. El barrio anda pidiendo rap, rap, porque mi música es rap, rap. Yo soy latino y hago rap, rap. Yo soy un líder en el rap, rap. En el orden suena rap, 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 rap. Ninguno como yo en el rap, 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 rap. Lo mío suena en el rap, 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 rap. Gano billetes en el rap, 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 rap. Y no paramos, man.
Oh man, oh man. I hope you guys enjoyed that music break because it's been like over a month and a half since you got a good Rawrrzone mix out of me. I know that our guest that's in the building right now was jamming to that new Villano track, that trap. Villano, I love your music, but for the love of God, do not let me get flagged for this episode, my guy. I already went through it once where I got a strike on my account for you, B. It's why I'm paying more money to StreamYard so I can stream to my website, bro. But still, don't get me flagged. Um, we here. Welcome to the Rawrrzone on our website www.rawrzonenyc.com. YouTube, Twitch, Rawrrzone NYC, and wherever you may stream your podcast. It's gonna be. I know we talk about getting raw on the Rawrrzone, and we be talking about the stupidest of shit. Um, Today is one of those days where you might hear something a little more heavy, a little more out of our context, a little more serious. It's a topic and multiple topics that affect all of us around us. I was doing my research about our guest, and there's a lot of people who stand up for sexual abuse victims, but there's also a difference when, and I'm trying to put this lightly, to go through such a traumatic event and to come out an award-winning model, speaker, beauty queen, motivational speaker. It's a touching topic to me because I was sexually abused as a teenager by my brother's best friend, and it was not one of those happy ending stories. So to see people like her take her experience and channel it to something positive, because not many people do get that happy ending. But before I get too mushy and tearing, right? Let me talk about our guest before I bring her up here. Miss Brittany K is an award-winning international plus-size model, beauty queen, motivational speaker, host out of Greenville, South Carolina. She's modeled and co-hosted in various high-profile shows, including New York Fashion Week, which is why you guys got the mix that you got, because they had Big Boss Vet there performing multiple times, and it had my big girl energy up. So I was like, all right, we need to translate that into the fucking mix. But I don't want to get flagged by her people either. She's appeared in global magazines such as Fashion Republic, Supermodels Unlimited, Style Cruise, and others. She has modeled for brands such as Just 10, the best alternative fashion company in the world, Miss Bessie Johnson. She's so beautiful. The Couture Room, Lady Code Cosmetics, Angel Cosmetics, Victoria Henley's Magnifique, and Dimitra Designs. But what people don't know is Miss Brittany K has a luxury jewelry line called VIP by Brittany K. She's been writing since a young child. Her nonfiction, short stories, and free verse poetry have appeared in various publications through the years, most recently in the South Carolina Bard. She has taken the pageant world by storm as Miss Palmetto Pride Plus America 2023, and she currently reigns as 2025 Miss Supermodel. A sexual assault survivor, Brittany has become an experienced victim advocate, speaking at numerous events, including the 2024 IDEAS Global Conference in Paris, to helping other victims not only survive but to thrive. As she has, her work in combating sexual violence has earned her various awards, including the 2024 Woman of Influence, and a kick-ass model, of course. Miss Brittany K in the motherfucking building. Hold on, let me take this overlay off. Hello.
Hey.
So sorry about that. I found one piece of information. I kept trying to call Emma since yesterday. hear
That's no, I said that's no problem.
I would like to hear the extent of everything
Okay.
and to hear your words and to see everything now understanding everything that you're doing, you know, it's just amazing. And 1 second, because I'm being told I'm too dark. I'm sorry. Here we are. Okay.
Yeah, I can see you.
Yeah, I'm not a video game character no more.
Right, you're not a dark shadowy figure. You're not like, anonymous creeping in the background.
I'm not hiding in the shadows. Yo, like Drake after watching the Super Bowl.
Right.
Oh my god.
Still hiding.
That was an interesting night.
It was, and I'm still cracking up on like all these TikTok videos of like Kendrick, and I'm like, yeah, I love it.
If you understood like the history buff in me, because I graduated with a history major in my bachelor's, and I loved like every little reference. And I'm not gonna lie, I was dying with Samuel L. Jackson, 100%.
Right, I loved it all. So I actually, when I was at Clemson, I was also a history major, and my specialty was military history. So, like, I'm still like, oh, so yeah, it's great. It's fun. I'm glad he was able to perform, because not only like do I like his music, but the man writes lyrics like no other. I mean, he does amazing. Like, he's an amazing lyricist. So the fact that he layers, he's calling on history, he's calling out like society as it is right now, some of the stuff going on. I loved it, and I thought it was very appropriate for Super Bowl. So
I just love that Trump was there looking all constipated and probably shocked.
That too. They'll beat up Voldemort.
Like, the only thing that they should have done during that halftime performance was get Trump's reaction.
I know. I was watching for it.
I was like, especially right around the time he was about to do the A minor part, like that would have been perfect after he did that fucking smile.
Right? See if he even reacted, if he understood any of it.
I don't
with
think
all the
he
craziness
did.
coming out.
I really don't think he did, and that bothers me, right? Because I watched the news today and I got told that our president is a domestic terrorist.
Mm-hmm. It's been crazy, and seeing videos where you have guests in the Oval Office, and just all the craziness going on. It's a little concerning, especially when you've studied history. It's kind of like, oh, okay, this seems not great. That's nice.
Like, everything that we learned about the ratification of the Declaration of Independence was to prevent bullshit like this.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely. And then you're kind of like, where is everybody in the government, and what are they doing, and why aren't you saying anything? So it's
It shocks me about the kids and the board of ed, and they're trying to come after with Elon Musk. Like, are you serious?
Yeah. I actually, like, I fly planes on the side. That's a hobby. It's general aviation. And I was, as someone that comes with an aviation background, all these plane crashes and stuff, I have, I guess, a little bit more of an insight to how they happen. But regardless, one of the things that I do before any flight is I look at, it's called PIREPS, which is pilot reports and aviation weather, and like if there's NOTAMs, and there's been waffling back and forth on, oh, we're going to change the name to this and that, and it stands for Notice to Airmen. Okay. Because of all the government stuff, the websites that you go to view that, like aviation weather through the NOAA and stuff, it's down. You can't view it like as a regular. You have to have like special flight software to log in. And I'm sitting there going like, you can't view any of this. And it's stuff like that's concerning, because I guess people don't realize how reaching some of this is when it talks about, they're taking over this organization. Like, it's scary where you can't go just get regular information. You can't get regular information about, product recalls. So you could be eating something really horrible, or, things that are going on with bird flu. You're having to get it from people who are on TikTok who are in the know, or you're just having to piece it together. And so that's a little bit scary, so, and then they come out today and they're like, oh, you can't have this information, or they come out and they say, oh, the AP didn't call it Gulf of America, so they can't be at the press conferences anymore. And you're just like, it's asinine. But yeah, very scary as someone who predominantly my specialty was military history of World War II. So that's yeah, that's a thing.
And didn't Dwight Eisenhower, when he did after D-Day, after he finished his term, didn't he say in his farewell speech that this shit was gonna happen, where technology will pretty much take over the military? Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm not bugging out, and I still remember stuff from college. Shout out to Dr. Siri.
Yep. So, it's crazy. Sometimes technology is a good thing. Sometimes it's scary. And I was talking to a friend and they're like, oh, well, this is a good thing. AI is going to rule. And I'm like, did you not watch Terminator? Because that's where my mind goes.
See, I think AI has its advantages, right? And I say that because when I did my master's in communications, I was reading a media ethics book about when they had Bruce Lee do the commercial for Johnny Walker, and it was against everything he believed in. But then you had other AI generated commercials that actually proved some points, was actually on point. So I feel like to an extent we can have it there, even for researchers, right? I did a 60-page thesis on Anne Boleyn, and I still don't know how I stretched her life into 60 pages and thought her death was somewhat unjustified. I mean, probably was, but more justified to them. But it makes it easier for a person who already found some research that can't find research on certain topics to get that deep dive into where they didn't, for things they didn't know. I can understand that. But the way everyone is taking it, granted, the Diddy memes.
Right.
Those are funny as hell, but some of them are looking too real.
Yes.
And it makes you wonder, did that shit really happen or not?
Anything when you have a lot of people coming out to speak, yeah, some of it definitely probably happened. I mean, because studying history, people can be very depraved. So yeah, I definitely believe at least some of it did.
I say somewhat unjustified because logic back then did not exceed to the logic we have now. So what we think is unjustified was extremely justified to them. So I had to make myself clear so no one thought that her death was meant to be.
I know Emma was somewhat unjustified. No, but I mean, AI has its benefits. AI has definitely, when you look at some of the applications, I was talking to someone who she does mental health, but the way you have to talk about the diagnosis and the plan, it's this huge thing that basically using AI makes it fill in the blank, because that part's not personalized. That part's, the same thing. It's just the same language. And that cuts her documenting in time in half, where it was 2 hours to now it's 45 minutes, because it's the same thing. But, obviously when she goes into her actual planning, that's different. So AI's got its advantages. AI, if maybe you are not a very strong writer when it comes to certain things, like resumes, AI is good for that. AI is good for some of the customer service stuff. Like you go on Amazon, DoorDash, whatever. You're like, hey, I've got this problem. It spits something back to you. So AI's got its advantages, but the conversation is someone and I don't know how true this is, they were saying, yeah, they expect everything to be like fully automated by like 2030, and people aren't even going to be able to work. And I'm like, okay, now that's a scary thought. Like AI's got its advantages as a tool, but when you fully rely on something like artificial intelligence, or you fully rely on automated machinery, you got to think, you don't have that human element. You don't have the judgment calls. It's like black or white, ones and zeros. So that's where it gets a little crazy. And, you know, where I joke and say, oh, it's going to be like Terminator, just because, I mean, think about it. Like, it is kind of close. Like, that's the worst case. But, like, you know,
just because
it does have good uses. Right.
Don't make it actually happen.
Right. I'm like, okay, you know, it's the same thing. Like, I love Jurassic Park. I love the book. I love the movies. Don't try to bring the dinosaurs back to life. We're good.
Yeah, we don't need 1984 all over again.
Right. It's like, you look at some of the stuff and it's like, did you see how that ended in Hollywood? And then all these other books, like, maybe don't attempt that. Like, just don't. Just like, because you can doesn't mean you should.
Even if it's not true, they were written for a reason.
Right.
Fahrenheit 9/11. Written for a reason.
You're just like, exactly. Like, there's some stuff that it's just like, leave it alone for a reason. Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Like, I quote my boyfriend on this to a lot of people, and I think I said it 3 times today because everyone annoyed the shit out of me today. I go and I said, common sense is not common, and that's why motherfuckers don't listen.
Oh, that's true too. Like, I feel like common sense is definitely not common anymore.
Life sucks, but shout out to Emma in the building wanting dinosaurs. Shout out to Anichi Music LLC in the building on Instagram. If you tuned in, please subscribe to our website or YouTube. Come hang out with us. Follow Miss Brittany K. But for everyone that doesn't know, right? Who is Miss Brittany K?
Not 2 raccoons in a raincoat. Masquerading as human. No. So my whole story is, I was at Clemson studying history, and I dated a guy, and he cooked me dinner and thought that repayment would mean me having sex with him. And when I said no, he brutally raped me and he tried to kill me. I was bleeding out. 911 was called, and it was a hang up, so they responded. But the thing is, the cop knew his brother. And the cop was relatively new. Not once did first responders ask what happened to me. Not once did they, like, allow me to be separated from him. They kept him in the room with me, even at the hospital. First responders and hospital staff, it was horrible. At one point, I was dying, and the student nurse goes, "This is why fat people shouldn't have sex." And she said, you know, the other nurse is like, "Hey, you can't say that." And she's like, "She's dying anyway. What's the matter?" I didn't die. I probably should have. I had lost over half my blood at that point. They took me to surgery. I tried to tell the doctor there's no way it could be a miscarriage. I had not had sex in 4 years. It was not possible. He gave me a forced D&C, which is what they actually get for abortions. They scrape your insides out. So that was pleasant. I was so anemic that it was 100 degrees outside, and I had to sit outside with a blanket. It was that cold. I was supposed to take my check ride later that week. Couldn't do it. To this day, I still hold the ranking of a student pilot. You know, one day I'll take the check ride, but, you know, I'm poor. But yeah, it was bad because I tried to go back to Clemson. And Clemson, if you've ever been on their campus, there's, you know, it's in kind of the foothills of the mountains in upstate South Carolina. So there's a lot of hills. I couldn't do it. I was suffering panic attacks. I had to drop out of college, and then the recession hit. And the bad thing was, anytime I tried to go back to college, they would say, "Oh, you left on academic probation. Oh, there's not a police report. Oh," you know, and it was just the worst case of everything. And so for years I struggled. And if you, like, 1 in 6 women are going to be impacted by sexual assault. And that's just in the United States. I believe survivors are 10 times higher to use hard drugs than anyone else. About 30% retain PTSD through like more than a year. There's, I think it was like 35% are more likely to try to commit suicide, and 15% of those will be successful. You're more likely to be re-abused, re-assaulted. Your self-esteem takes a dive. And part of that is kind of the culture, because, you know, I go looking at something that happened with me and it was the worst case scenario. Like, yeah, there's, you know, the actual rape part, but then there's how people treated me, because I remember going to church. We were in like a women's health group where we wanted to like help abuse victims. And I remember a pastor looked at me and goes, "How did you lead him to sin against you?" And then someone else saying, "I needed to apologize to him for leading him to temptation." So being in that Southern culture and hearing that, it was bad. And it actually did lead me to like be suicidal for a couple of years. And then I finally got into therapy and started, you know, recovering and doing work. I do a lot of, not recently since I've been traveling a lot, but I did a lot of victim advocacy with the Julie Valentine Center, helping other women, because people don't know if they're assaulted. You can go, you know, to a hospital and you can request a rape kit. Specific hospitals around here, if it's a Christian-based hospital, they don't offer that. You have to demand it. Like, you have to be vigilant about it. And people aren't going to know, because I didn't know in that situation. Like, I didn't know what was going on. I didn't know. It was like being gaslit, and, you know, people were saying, "Oh, no, it didn't happen. It was just, you know, accident." And so it was bad, you know, and then you keep going and stuff happens. And eventually, you know, I was able to get into a career for caregiving and work my way up to, at one point, I was doing like office management, and I was accepted to Columbia College. And so I went to school and I got my bachelor's degree in emergency management and disaster response, which that was kind of like one of my dreams, is to have that. And I was working on my master's of business when my father passed away. And
you said your father or your brother?
My father.
Okay.
So he passed away in 2022 of cancer. It was a very quick thing. And, you know, that threw life for a loop again, because then you're traumatized again, because I'm an only child, very close with my dad. And one of the things that I wasn't quite healed on that he said is, he's like, "I want for you to have better self-esteem. I want for you to not look at yourself and tear yourself down and pick yourself apart and hate yourself because you think you're so ugly." And a friend of mine's like, "Oh, you should go do this plus size pageant." And so I did. And that's what set this ball rolling. I never intended to model. I personally don't think I'm very beautiful or anything like that.
Girl, stop. You look amazing in that dress on Saturday. What?
But that just goes to show. And the crazy thing is, I've met other models who've modeled for guests who, you know, they look the part of a supermodel and they feel the same way. And a lot of people, like these huge makeup artists that I've worked with, they got into it because they felt the same way. So it's a good thing to like say that and acknowledge that, to say, yeah, I don't feel like I'm the prettiest girl out there, because so many other people feel that way. And especially if you've had trauma, you feel that way. And when I did pageantry, yeah, it helped give confidence. But one of the things, because I have to talk about self-esteem at an event later this week, that gave me self-esteem is I had to force myself to start looking at myself in pictures and not pick myself apart. And that shows to where it was like, oh, you get more comfortable seeing yourself. You get more comfortable being in your own skin. And so that helped. And then it blew up. Supermodels Unlimited, they were the first that I really modeled for. And it's become where I'm now, like, I'm normally their red carpet co-host, but for this specific show, I was debuting a collection that I helped design. And that's the first time I've ever done anything like that. So this is so far from left field from anything I ever thought I would be doing in my life. But what's so great is, you know, people are like, "Oh, what's it like seeing your face on billboards," that sort of thing. And I'm like, it's great. But I get the most joy out of talking to people. And then, you know, they say, "Oh, I could never do that. I'm too fat. I'm too old. I'm too this." And I can say with confidence, no, you can do that. You just have to learn to see yourself in a different light. You know, I have my bad days where I'm like, oh, you know, I was telling somebody else, like, I've just gotten used to seeing myself in pictures. And so, like, sometimes when you have video, like, I was looking, I was like, ugh, because I make really funny faces. And so you'll see me behind the scenes being like, you know, just being, you know, yeah. But it's really funny because I love talking to others and I love helping them. And then so when they'll tell me their stories, you know, it starts them on their healing journey and say, well, hey, if she can do it, maybe I can do it. And I've got that from a few people who've reached out to me that said, hey, you know, you inspired me to be part of this pageant. You inspired me to be part of this. And that's really what I'm doing this for. Like, yeah, it's fun to see yourself on a billboard, but also it's a lot more gratifying to show to someone that, hey, you know, you can accomplish whatever you want within reason. I mean, obviously I'm not going to become like the next Simone Biles as a gymnast because I can barely walk down the street without tripping. But, you know, within reason, you can heal from trauma and you can like thrive after it.
Listen, man, I'm just saying, I'm just an overall klutz, and I lost a lot of weight. I used to be 300 pounds, and that was out of high school, and I was in such an abusive relationship. Now, mind you, I was in an abusive relationship after going through the trauma of being sexually abused. Like, I essentially just went away to college because I couldn't stand being home. And it wasn't my mom's fault because my mom was supportive.
Right.
Unfortunately, my brother, God rest his soul, who was friends with this gentleman or non-gentleman, did not believe me until about 10 years of not talking after that.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, my brother died in 2021, a few months after we actually came to an actual common place.
Mm-hmm.
But it showed, like, when I did come out to some family members about it, it was very mixed support. Some people looked at me like they didn't believe me. Some people, like my sister and my mom, my two sisters and my mom, they shout out to Dudette and Bree. You know, they slept over. They made me feel like I did nothing wrong because in the end of the day, I remember asking, yo, what the hell just happened? You know, when it first happens to you, you kind of sit in shock. And I didn't get the best advice than at the time it happened. So it was literally happening on the day of my birthday, and I didn't know what to do. Someone at my social worker at school, because my mom had gotten sick, and they saw it because she was sick. I'm just depressed and all of that. So they called her up and they told her pretty much everything I told them, because legally, if you're a minor, they got to report it.
Yeah.
When it came to your family, though, how was your support system with that?
My mom was supportive. The only thing is, she's like, you should have listened to me because I had a bad feeling. And my dad he was a little bit more standoffish when it came to stuff, because he didn't want me to feel uncomfortable by, like, you know, hugging me or something. And knowing how people react, like family in those situations, like as an advocate, they're blaming themselves. I have a really good friend of mine. He stayed friends with me throughout the thing. And he said that, you know, he felt bad because he should have been more adamant that he didn't like the guy. And so they're dealing with like a secondary guilt. So as a victim, you don't see that. But when you start to heal and move on, now you understand. But I do have an uncle. And he was talking to my mom one day, and he came to the hospital. Okay. And he said something about me because, of course, you know, after you go through that, like, my personality changed. Like, I was grumpy a lot. I was depressed. You know, he said, about his own daughters, he goes, well, at least my daughters didn't go off and get themselves raped. And I was like, wow. And a couple other family members who asked, what were you wearing? What did you do to tempt them? Because you weren't innocent. And
that's
my advice, and the friend that had introduced us went and slept with him. And then was like, but I still hope we can be friends. And I'm like, no.
Wow.
Yeah. So one of the things that I learned is I love watching true crime.
It's fucking fun, isn't it? Like you try to figure out the mystery with them.
Right? So especially back in the 80s, we had all these serial killers, and a couple of them, I think, Richard Ramirez was one of them, justified how they picked their victims. And they said, oh, well, if, they broke into the house, if the door happened to be unlocked, then they left it open for me because they wanted to be chosen. And you're sitting at home watching this and you're like, yeah, they volunteered to be murdered. Like, what kind of person thinks that? And it's the same way.
There was literally an episode of Law and Order like 2 weeks ago. Shout out to Olivia Benson, that beautiful crime fighting goddess.
Right.
It was a woman and her husband were having the roommate syndrome life. So meaning all the romance was gone. They're just pretty much living together. The husband become aroused because the woman was taking sleeping pills. And like what people don't know is like you could take these sleeping pills, but if you go through like sleepwalking, you will go sleepwalk, and you could have sleep sex, you can have sleep conversations, and you won't know anything that happened. You're essentially blacked out. So that was the same situation, and this guy goes on a forum, starts going to all these guys to the point where one goes into their house, rape, like he's raping her essentially. He thinks he's having sex, and then the only reason why it comes to life is because he had the crazy wife following him, and she sent the video out in a USB.
Exactly. So like you got those things where you're like, in what way was that consent? And or I tell other victims, like I'll say, well, if someone broke in and like to your house right now, how would you feel? And they're like, well, I would feel, threatened. I would feel this and all this. I said, and so if they broke in without your permission and just took something, well, yeah, I said, did they not just do the same thing to you when they assaulted you? And that's when people hear it from a different perspective. They're like, wait, you're right. And it's like, yeah, it's about power. It's about making you feel powerless. It's about taking what they want. So in this case, I didn't give somebody thank you because he cooked me a very mediocre chicken dinner, like didn't even season the chicken. Like, come on.
So I hate to say this because we're both of the Caucasian persuasion, but was he one of us?
Yes.
Like, I hate to say it, but our people don't make, like, my mom is white and she makes amazing Greek chicken, so I love my mom's cooking, but other white people don't. I'm sorry. Like, I get happy when the Spanish people invite me to the parties and there's pernil, and I get happy when I'm invited to the barbecues.
I'm Southern, so we season our food down here. But he is a white guy, and he got to go on and live his life, and he was gaslighting me pretty hard after that. Like, he was still hanging around a little bit, and it was like, well, maybe he didn't hear. And then he started saying things like, no one's going to believe you, and how he had tortured animals, and how he identified with the Nazis and the KKK. And I was like, no, because he hid all of that. Like, he was that level. And so, I'm glad he is out of my life. Yeah, but
he's out of your life.
Yeah, last I heard through that mutual friend is he has a couple of kids and a wife and a job. and here I was struggling for years. And so, yeah, there are days where it was hard to be,
Wait,
you know,
so that mutual friend slept with him. Was she the wife?
No. She wanted to be.
She went,
but she wasn't.
Found out about that, and went back to the person that he raped?
She,
what kind of sick
yeah, pretty much.
is that?
Yeah. And from my understanding, like she's tried to reach out and be friends since, and I'm like, no, we're not doing that. Cause I lost most of my friends when this happened. Cause they said, oh, you're not fun. You're not this. And so, you know, that was kind of a very isolating time, but apparently she did this and she told me that she had done it because she felt guilty for years. So the whole time she had done this, like apparently a few times, and just, yeah. And I'm like, really? Because I told you everything. Like she had been with him a couple times after that, apparently. And I was like, wow. She's like, but I liked him in high school. And I'm like, yeah, it was one of those things where I was just like, oh my gosh, like not very girl of you, you know, and then saying, oh, you know, you're still my best friend. And I'm like, like,
if that was what a best friend does, I wonder what the fuck my enemies would do.
Right? I'm like, no, thank you. So yeah, like she'll comment occasionally on things like, oh, I'm so proud of you. You were always so pretty. And I'm like, thanks. Peace. I can say now that I have an amazing group of friends. They were with me in New York. 2 of them modeled for me in my collection. But they're the kind that, you know, they lift you up. They don't do crazy things like that. So yeah, that was, even I just sat there like, my flabbers are gasted. What? Like you did what now? Yeah. So it was I was like, you've got to be kidding me. Like this whole thing just kind of kept, I was like, this is like the worst of the worst of the worst. So yeah, that was a little weird when she told me that. I mean, I was definitely, you know, upset, but also I was just like, at that point, I just looked at it, I was like, I'm done. I was like, and I didn't even feel bad because normally I would be like, oh, well, you know, I'm sorry. No, I was just like, no. I was like, nope, it's done.
Like, I'm really glad you moved away from that.
Yes.
I still can't believe someone had the audacity to come back to you.
Right.
Doing that.
Like, especially the fact that like she had done it multiple times and like sat there through me going through this and being like, oh, it's so horrible. Oh, I regret ever introducing you to the girl. So yeah, it was I was like, yeah, no, I'm good. Like there was some other stuff that she was going through and, you know, her life had taken this turn that was going on that it was like stuff I didn't really want to be into and associated with. So I had already kind of pulled back, but that was just kind of like, like I could never do anything like that.
So let me ask you something. Let's trend away from the friends, right?
Mm-hmm.
So everyone comes to that point, especially after it happens, where they want to play that they're fine. You know, they want to let it they don't want to let it out of the new relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when was that point for you where, for me, I had extreme PTSD. I had a moment that I was with my abusive ex-boyfriend, but we're having a normal day, a normal night, and we were getting close, and instead of seeing my boyfriend, I saw my rapist. And that's when I realized I needed help.
Mine wasn't so much with dating. Like I tried to date off and on, but like the guys that I kept dating were guys that like, and it sounds horrible, but were kind of beneath me. because I didn't have self-esteem. And I vividly remember this one guy, we go on this date, he takes me to this movie. He shows up with this car full of like McDonald's wrappers. Like it looks like a hoarder's car. And he smells, it doesn't even smell like he, had showered for this date. And we go on the date. Afterwards, I'm like, yeah, not feeling it. He tries to kiss me. And I'm like, no. And I go back and I'm hanging out with my guy best friend. And cause he's basically my brother. And this guy is blowing up my phone, and he had to take the phone because this guy was saying stuff like, you're so ugly, you're so broken, you don't deserve love. How dare you reject me? Just
I hate when they get butthurt like that. Like that's
right.
Really pussy.
He was also like, you should go kill yourself. Like it was bad. And then at the end of it, he goes, so, do you think there's a chance for a second date? What? I was like, what? So I had taken a step back from dating again because like I kept running into these type guys. And I was like, at this point, they would start, I was hyper aware. So they would start showing that kind of stuff. And I'm like, no. But when I was in a healthier dating place after, therapy, this was 2023, I think. And this may have been like the last like date I was on. My best friend at the time, she was living with me. So I'm like, hey, I'm going to go on this date. We're both single, both on Tinder. I go, this guy is about 300 something pounds. He's normally not my type, but he seemed very nice. So I was like, I'm going for personality. Okay. And I was on my weight loss journey. Like I've gained like 20, 30 pounds back, but still I was at least this size, if not just a little bit bigger. And I hadn't really started the pageant stuff yet. We're on this date. It's this nice restaurant. He says stuff and he's like, wait, you got the vaccine? And I was like, well, yeah, I had to. It was mandated where I work because I worked in healthcare. And so he's all upset about that. He's upset about other stuff. This guy at the end, the waiter comes up and he's like, do you guys want dessert? And he looks at me, looks at the waiter, and goes, does she look like she needs dessert? He goes, she doesn't even need to finish that. He goes, go ahead and box it up for her.
I just twitched. Holy shit, what the fuck?
Yep. I was like, and I'm like staring at this guy, like the audacity. And he looks at me and I kid you not, says, yeah, I saw on Tinder, he pulled it up. He goes, this girl in your picture, she's your friend. He goes, honestly, she's the perfect girl. He said, and you're too fat. He goes, but she has kids. So that's why I chose you. He's like, you're not worth my time. And the waiter's sitting here like, and I got back from that date and I was telling my friend and she's like, what the hell? We should she should like go on a date with him and just like, I don't know, set fire to his car or something. But it was the first time that I sat there and thought, yeah, no, this isn't about anything wrong with me. This is a you thing, dude. Like I may not be the prettiest girl, but you have at least 100 pounds on me and you want all this, and this, and you're acting like that. So that was a huge breakthrough for me because even though he said it and I was just like, I wasn't even upset thinking I was less. It was like, man, good luck to you, because it was just, and that sounds horrible to say, but it was that point where I could say it wasn't something that I took personally for me. It was just going, well, you suck. At least I got free food out of it.
I'm saying.
So that was kind of like my first thing where I was like, oh, okay. And, I talk to guys here and there, but I don't know what it is about dating in my area. It's like most of them either like look and act like they're on meth, or they're like, hey, I don't have a car. You have to come pick me up. And I'm like, no, thank you. Or, it's just the culture around here. And then plus, there's stuff that's been going on that I was taking care of mom stuff, that I just shifted priorities, and it's like, it's going to happen when it happens. I'll, meet whoever, but I'm not like trying to like be on an app and say, I need this for Valentine's Day. I need this, and it's a different mindset because, when you come from a place where you're broken about stuff, then you're like, oh, I'm only as good as that's all I can get. That's all I can do. And you tolerate those behaviors. Whereas this time it was just like, you're rude. Why? Like, all you had to do at the end of the day was say, I'm sorry, I don't think we're compatible. So,
it makes me glad that I didn't have a dating nightmare when I met my boyfriend, because I swear to God, I don't know what the New York would have came out of me in an instant. You should see, I'm pretty sure Emma's laughing at this too, because she almost peed before from laughing. But she's going to agree that you just need to move to New York. Take mom, come up here. You got the supermodel life. Like,
I'm telling you, I've got that. And a friend of mine's like, no, you need to move up to Massachusetts with us. And it's so different up here.
No, we don't like Boston. Fuck the Patriots.
No, it wasn't Boston. It was a different area.
It's still, no, fuck Massachusetts. No, not the Sox. Nothing. No. New York. First of all, what has Boston got fashion-wise compared to New York City? It's one of the fashion capitals of the world. The fuck you mean? I'm sorry.
Right? I'm like, I just need like a place where rent can be paid. I need low cost of living. For now.
Like, listen, man, if you can make it there, you can make it anywhere. Babe, I get it, but Massachusetts is not nice enough to have all of this over there.
I haven't even been yet. I've been to Hartford, and that was recently, and I've only seen a little bit, but like my best friend, he had moved up to Massachusetts, and then, I have a couple friends that are on the other side of it, and so they're like, oh, you need to come up and visit. And I'm like, one day I'll come up and visit, and I'll see, what everyone's talking about. But as far as like, actually, I still haven't been there. I flew over there on my way to Paris. Like, I flew over Boston, and that's about as close as I've gotten.
My boyfriend said Hartford sucks.
Literally, I saw the Air Museum. That part I did like, and then the rest of it is I was pretty much just around the airport the entire time, because it was just, it was their fashion show, so for the weekend. And then it started snowing, and of course, from the south down here, we don't get snow. We occasionally get ice. We might get like 2 inches of snow. Our little like salt trucks are okay, but the plows, we might have like 2 plows, and so people go crazy. They buy out everything out of the grocery store. If snow's even mentioned, it's like the apocalypse. And so here we are in Hartford, and it snows like 8 inches overnight. And then I go to New York 2 weeks later, and it's snowing like during our show, and we're leaving, and like all 3 of us that are leaving to Uber back, we're from the South. We have suitcases. We're like trying to shuffle in the snow and drag these giant suitcases with us. And I'm pretty sure everyone's like getting a kick out of us going, what? So that's an adjustment I have to get used to.
So it's really interesting that every fashion show you go to, there's a huge snowstorm.
And it's only been like twice. Like last year it did snow, but on the night before that we were leaving, but it was melted. So it's funny because like it's only been recently. And I think it's my karma, because I kept making fun of my best friend when he originally moved to New Hampshire. And I was like, he's like, oh, I slid on the ice today. I'm like, ha, that's what you get for moving up north. And so now I guess it's coming back to bite me. But
Yep.
But still, it was like, I stand by it, because he was complaining about the snow. I was like, but dude, they get like a foot of snow. Like, you knew that.
So I was so upset when we had to leave on Saturday, because I'm like, I know your line didn't come up yet, but it was 9 o'clock and it was already like right here, the snow. I'm like, damn.
Yes. Yeah, and that's why you're like, hey, can we meet? And I'm like, the last half of the show is what I was pretty much in, and somebody's like, oh yeah, it's already snowing. And then, when we go to leave, I saw all the snow, and everything was closing, and we were all hungry. And so we tried to DoorDash from like 3 different places, and finally Taco Bell took pity on us and gave us food at like 2 a.m.
Oh my God.
I was like, those are the best tacos I've ever had. I was so hungry.
No, next time you come to New York, I'm taking you to the taco spot by my studio. You'll love it. Authentic Mexican food.
Love it. Because I never know where to go when I'm in New York. Like, I've gone to a few places in Times Square because that's where I've been, but like I want to branch out more from Times Square because I've done the touristy stuff, and Times Square is not my favorite. It gets way too crowded. I want to see more of the actual city. So
we got you. Hopefully it's better weather next time you come.
Yeah, it'll be in September. For sure.
Don't jinx it.
Right.
Don't jinx it. Then you're gonna invite me, and then it's gonna rain, and then it's gonna flood, and then no, we're not doing that.
I came down here and it flooded. I got back home and it started raining. I'm like, okay. And last night, because you were texting me, hey, are you okay? And I'm like, I'm so tired this morning, because what happened is there's this like siren on our septic tank, and it started going off at 3 a.m. And my mom's like freaking out. She's like, hey, I hear the toilets gurgling. And see, we had a sewage flood a few years ago and had to remodel the whole house after. So I'm like, oh no. I put on my shoes. I go out there. I've got water covering my tennis shoes. There's that much water on the ground, and we're not in a floodplain. So I tried to get over to the septic tank, and like, I can't even make it over there. So long story short, it was just the groundwater tripping the alarm because it hadn't gone down. There was nothing wrong with the septic tank. But I was like freaking out. And then when I tell you that water was up to my ankles, like soaking through my tennis shoes. Unfortunately, it wasn't any kind of sewage or anything, but it was, I was like, that was fun to deal with it. Like 3:30 in the morning. I was like, no. So it rained all through today, and it's supposed to rain this weekend. And I'm just like, okay, apparently I'm just a harbinger of doom for weather lately.
Sorry, I don't mean to laugh.
No, it's true. That's my humor. I'm like,
my goal on Saturday, right? And I was tired as shit. I worked already 7 days at that point. I'm on like day like 12 or 13, something like that right now. And I'm like, my boyfriend had a horrible experience for his first fashion week because he went.
Oh no!
I'll text you what happened because I don't want to sit here and put people on blast.
Yeah.
Because I didn't end up going after he told me what happened. So
yeah, there's a couple of stuff that I've had from other people at other shows that our show did good, but yeah, I get it sometimes.
I'm so glad that they were. Shout out to Emma and to the people of Supermodel Magazine Unlimited for being so accommodating, letting me bring Muffin Man, aka Ramon, for a better fashion week experience. Like, they gave him a chair too. It wasn't as crowded. Everyone was so nice to us. And it wasn't like, because we work in urban hip hop.
Mm-hmm.
And urban hip hop fashion shows was like nothing compared to the New York fashion shows. Because I went from doing like working in Latin media and nightlife promotions to like working in hip hop, and now I'm branching back out again, doing what I like to do. So in those fashion shows, yes, you have the streetwear, yes, you have the performances, but it's very low production value.
Yeah.
To put it in layman's terms.
Yeah.
A lot of people want to do the shows, but they don't understand the concept business-wise. So when people are there, they don't understand why it's structured like that, why are things like that. It's not always about the look of the female, but it's also the presentation of the whole thing. If your host doesn't look happy. So it was nice to see an event so properly put together, and also for a good cause.
Exactly.
The proceeds to the event went to fire relief and to the victims in the California wildfires. So it was an amazing event. I got amazing shots. I was just so mad I didn't get to stay for you. I was so mad. I know
that there's video that they said that they got, and then more pictures. I know the pictures haven't. Getty's released their images. Sorry, it's my cat in the background. But the rest of other photographers haven't yet because they also did photo shoots. So you have like all these models. So they're going through all these pictures. One of the things that
I went to.
Yep. One of the things that I love about SU is from the very beginning is they're diverse. You will have people with disabilities walk. You will have young, older. Exactly. You have so many different people walking. They are really nice. There's only been, out of 2 years, maybe once or twice that there was someone that might have been quote unquote a mean girl, and then like I'd never seen them again at another show. You're gonna get that any show, but by and large, they're always nice. They're always accommodating. You will get something that, say you get and you don't feel comfortable walking in it, they'll let you wear one of your own dresses in place if you have a backup, because they want you to feel comfortable when you do that. I know Hartford. So before the LA fires, they each had different charities, but I believe for pretty much the next year, it's all going to go to benefit LA and different stuff. At Hartford, we had not only to benefit the firefighters, they're fun, but also the food banks in LA, because that was right when it had happened. And yeah. And so same thing. Here we go. We had a showcase where we're in like, T-shirts that say like I love LA, or pictures of California on it, and that was the money for that went to the funds. And so SU has always done a lot of fundraising for various causes, but the fact that they do see a need, they will like go for it. One of the other girls, Medina Alam, she actually has her Say What You Feel line, and so that's an advocate for mental health because she's a licensed, physician in mental health. So you've got that stuff with SU where they're not afraid to like raise awareness for things. I have been in other shows where, sometimes it may go to benefit something, but production value can be low, or you might have, conflicts of personality or just other stuff going on. And I've actually been in shows where, one designer got mad at another designer and like threw the one designer and one of his models out of the show. So, Fashion Week, sometimes it's a really good experience, and sometimes you're like, what? But with SU, like I've always had a consistent, like great experience with them. So that's why I keep going back to them.
How'd you get involved with them?
I was in a couple of groups after the pageant, and they had a model call for a shoot at Biltmore in Asheville. And so I asked about it, and they're like, hey, yeah, we'd love to have you. And that's the first time I'd ever really done runway. And then I was thinking, like, I was like the biggest girl there. So I was kind of like, maybe it's not my thing. Maybe, I don't know. And then they actually contacted me and said, hey, would you like to walk for New York Fashion Week in September? And I was just about to compete at the National Miss Plus America pageant. And I was like, oh, okay, sure. And I ended up having a really bad experience at the Miss Plus America pageant. Like one of the judges, when they commented, had said, your arm is disgusting. You need to hide it. And here's the arm in question. And the reason why is back when all that happened, I lost massive blood. They kept a tourniquet on the arm for 2 days, even though they weren't supposed to. So it separated. Right. So they said it should always be hidden. And so I was thinking, oh gosh, I was like, I don't even want to be seen. And, my friend's like, no, like go, at least you can say you went to New York Fashion Week. And so I went, and everything, everybody's so gracious. And that's how I started getting confidence back, because they're like, what's wrong with your arm? They're like, I wouldn't have even noticed if you hadn't like pointed it out. So that was just kind of, by sharing my story and realizing the type of people that I was interacting with and that these people were genuine, I just came back for a couple things and, started working more closely with them and started doing some influencing with them. I worked quite a few times with Victoria Henley as well. Victoria is super sweet. Her mom does the photography for her shows and stuff, and I love her mom. So they helped me build my portfolio. I've worked with a couple other places. Here in South Carolina, they had the first Spartanburg Fashion Week, and that was the first like model call that I was really on where they selected me. And I've modeled a couple times for Thick Boutique, which is in Gaffney, and that's actually where that bronze jumpsuit I was wearing for red carpet and all, that was where that came from.
Beautiful.
So,
I'm gonna put that picture up here.
I mean, yeah, because she actually had me come model it for a news program in November, and she's like, as your payment, you can take any article of clothing you want. And I'm like, hey, I actually would like this. I'm normally not one for jumpsuits, but I felt like a goddess in it. And she's like, it's yours. So she saw the picture from Fashion Week, and she's like, girl, I just need to start sending you my business cards to hand, because I've got a few of her dresses that I'll wear out. So, it's just, you start talking to people and, they're just like, oh yeah, come do this, come do that.
That's great though. Like, I'm just literally in awe of you, if I'm gonna be completely honest.
Thanks.
I didn't even know you were a history major.
Yeah. My goal, if I can afford it, is I didn't get to finish my Master of Business because when my dad passed away, I had to quit to help mom. But if I get a chance, there's a program at Arizona State that I want to go back and take, and it's just for World War II history.
Ooh, I think this is the beginning of a beautiful friendship.
Right. I was also an anthropology major too.
What?
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna be good friends.
So I'm very much very nerdy, very geeky. I read all the time. I read like 150 books a year. Like I'm like very much geeky and then silly, and then go out here and I'm like, oh, look at me, confidence. And then I'm like, yeah, I'm back to being like a feral gremlin.
Oh my God. I was always that geek and a nerd. I went through some periods of my life where I kind of had to push all of that in the rear view.
Mm-hmm.
Because you get taken less seriously, I guess. And in our industry, what they always say, sex sells.
Yeah.
Your beauty is what's gonna get you. Even though I can probably say everywhere I've gotten to based on my credentials and my own accord, which is that's more than some people can say in this industry.
That's true.
But shit, I just almost went all over the place. Like, you just did everything. And it's hard to find people that go through this and have these conversations, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of where I come from and the traditions we have, right? So when if someone gets raped, it's a very quiet thing. Like,
yeah,
it's not, even if it is New York where there's unlimited resources. I come from a very traditional Greek family.
Yep.
Without giving a lot of personal information away like that. Like, it affected, I found out more about my family than I ever thought I was going to know from this situation. And because of the ideologies, you don't, like, now, like, there's so much resources for everyone, but when we went through it,
there wasn't. There was this big stigma.
Nothing. And they used to play those stupid videos in colleges. And I remember because this was right after I got raped, I'm sitting here watching. I'm like, but I didn't have to go farther than my fucking steps for that to happen.
right? Or they make it out that it's a stranger.
Like I don't gotta
Someone's-
be. I have to be drunk in order to get raped.
Yep, or that it's a stranger is going to break into your house and do it. It's most likely going to be somebody that you know, which is even worse because then that shatters your trust with relationships and friendships and that sort of thing anyway, because you have to heal. But so this all happened to me in 2008. And yeah, there was stigma at the time, especially being from conservative South. You didn't talk about it. And I have a big thing with bullying and stuff. Like I've never been one to stand by and watch. And so when I started advocacy and speaking out more, and then somebody popped off at me one day and said, you don't fit in. If you dress better in this church, you could find a husband. Oh, you need to apologize to your rapist for leading in temptation. Something snapped in me that day. And I was like, really? And educated. And so that's been kind of like my track to say, hey, people need to talk about it. And I remember at the national pageant, the woman, one of them questioned me, she goes, your story sounds, you can talk about it too easily. It sounds rehearsed and made up. And I looked at her, I was like, because I speak about it a lot. It's not rehearsed. It's I've healed. I've gotten comfortable with speaking my truth. And like, I don't know what it was, but I said to her, she's like, and how are you going to, address sexual abuse in the Catholic Church? How are you going to solve that? And I said, well, first of all, you're going to have conversations because the way culture is, it's the same thing with, I've noticed with like Catholics, any kind of like Latin Catholics, Italian Catholics, their culture, and this is from working with victim advocacy, also, it's more of you don't talk about it as much. It's harder to talk about. And so, you see that, and then you go worldwide and you're talking to people who are from different countries who they don't acknowledge that either. And so you're having to have that conversation to say, this happens worldwide. This happens here. You're not alone. You're not a victim. And so that's the only way you can reduce the stigma and bring attention to it is by, speaking out about it. And that can be extremely hard, especially if you are still dealing with PTSD, if you're still dealing with trauma, that's extremely hard because it requires you to be vulnerable and open. And I think the worst part is when I share my story, I don't always share how graphic it is. It doesn't bother me to talk about, but it bothers some people to the point that they are so visibly uncomfortable. Like when you mentioned you have to crawl through blood, that they're like, they're like about to puke. And you're like, yeah, maybe not for this conference. But, the thing is, like, if you don't tell like how graphic some of it is, if you just spout these percentages off, people are going to be like, oh yeah, 1 in 6. But when you make it personal and you're saying, this happened to me, this is what I went through. It's like watching the true crime. People realize, oh, this is real. This is a real person. This is somebody's life. This is what happened to them. And, I don't wish it on anyone, but at least if I can get some good out of my story and out of what happened to me and make it somewhat, a positive impact later, then that also has helped me heal.
What are some things we in our position can do now with the resources that we have to help girls who are currently going through that, to help the adults that are, because it's not just happening to us, because that should happen to me in 2009. It's happening to adults that are in their 60s. I'm from New York. There was a woman raped an old woman raped on the train.
Yep.
Like, it's getting scarier and scarier. And
it
if you
is.
have the platform, how
exactly. Definitely, if you're comfortable with sharing your story. There are some, like Rain and a couple other places will do it, but also your your local rape crisis centers. A lot of times they'll offer victim advocacy training, and so you'll learn what to say, what not to say. You don't necessarily have to go and volunteer if that's not something you want to do. I've personally been in the room when they've had rape kit performed. I've taken the calls on hotline. But even just having that information so that if somebody ever comes to you and says, hey, this happened, so that you know how to deal with it and where to refer them, that helps. It teaches you how to, and not just for sexual assault, it's good for any type of crime once you know victim advocacy, because it teaches you what to say in those moments when someone needs psychological first aid, because I'm also trained in psychological first aid for disaster response. So it's just good
training. You're
training
not trained to do? Is there anything you're not trained to do?
Let's see. Can fly a plane, there's a lot. I don't know how to sell things.
Okay.
Like, I don't know how to, do marketing as well. But
me and Emma got you.
See, and if there's ever a disaster in the apocalypse,
give it a couple of more months,
right? Just be like, guys, yeah. But definitely, I'm big on training. The whole reason I got into disaster response is, growing up, I was impacted by a tornado, and it was just like I was always interested in disasters and the history of disasters and how to, help people and help, mitigate that. So I did my emergency management after working for 911 for a bit, and then, I did community emergency response, which is its own training. So you got more of like a, advanced first aid and psychological and search and rescue and the basics in case something ever did happen. That way you could help somebody. But it's the same thing with advocacy. Like I said, a lot of it's active listening. A lot of it is reassuring it's not their fault, because nobody walks around and says, hey, just rape me. That's not what happens. A lot of it is, I've had people who at pageants have asked too, said, hey, this might have happened to my sister. This might have happened to my cousin. I feel like if I had spoken out, how can they deal with it? And how can they be more supportive for their family member? Because because it's, what did she say? Right? It's like, call me during the apocalypse, like have the Jeep, we'll come pick you up, fight some zombies. But yeah, it's definitely, knowing and having knowledge is better than not having it in situations. So just knowing how to communicate with people, and, always the rule of thumb is saying it's not your fault. It's not your fault, because it's not, but when you're going through that, you're second guessing every decision that you made. And, you can sit there and say, you make 500 decisions in a day. You could have ate the fish and had food poisoning, but you didn't. You could have, accidentally run the stop sign, but you didn't. You just, any decision can turn bad. It's not that you specifically made a decision that led you down that path. And when all else fails, there's a picture that I normally will show, and I don't have it with me, but it's a dandelion and it's growing on a sidewalk, and it says, survive out of spite. And that's very true, because there are days when it's bad and you start to think and you're like, well, you know what? I'm going to do this because that person tried to do this to me and they would like to see me broken, but I'm going to do it out of spite to show them that, no, you didn't get me. And so if that's got to be your motivator for a bit, if that's what helps you heal, do it. I mean, we've all gone through things like bad breakups and stuff where, someone's like, we wouldn't amount to anything. We wouldn't do this. And then, in my case, I'm like, this person thought they were going to be the next Eminem and said I was going to be nothing. And yet I'm the one on the billboard and they're not. And I'm like, so, there are those moments where you're like, yeah, I survived out of spite. You have that anger that heals and it gets you there.
Yo, that's crazy that you and Emma said the same shit at the same damn time. What the hell?
Great minds.
I mean, yeah.
I mean, but it's very true. Like, I think people don't realize that, if you've been in that situation, you do get kind of angry. And then, you look at something and you're like, especially when you're healing and someone has told you, you could never do this. You were never worth it. You know, you needed to kill yourself because no one would ever love you. And then you have that moment where you've done something that's great and you triumph. And then sometimes you feel a little bit petty. You're like, ha, you said I could never do this. Now look at me. You know, that's a very valid feeling. That's a very, you know, you don't stay in that moment, of course, but sometimes, you know, it's a win. You take the win. You're like, oh, you know, and then you start to see as you recover more, you start doing it more for you, not just survival. And you're like, oh, I can do this. So, you know, as long as it starts giving you confidence, just don't always stay in that place.
Brittany, my love, thank you so much for coming back for coming with us for our comeback episode. Emma, thank you so much for setting this up. I really didn't expect 7 years I'm doing this show, and I think it's the first time I've actually been actually opened up and had a deep and honest conversation about things that actually matter. I'm not saying the other things don't matter, but when it really hits close to home and there's someone that actually understands and can help others, we always want to put that on the forefront, because this show's always about reflection, shows about becoming better, and obviously to play a lot of music, but that's a whole different story.
Hey, I love music.
I love music too. I was referring to what she said. I don't want to take credit for that. Lies. Somebody owes somebody a soda. But what's next for you, and where can they find you?
What's next for me? I know that I'll be doing a couple photo shoots in Greenville at the end of the month, and then I believe the next show that I have with SU will be at Champaign Manor in North Carolina. There's some other big stuff coming up. I don't have the actual dates yet, but their 25th anniversary show in LA. I'll be back in New York for a Fashion Week in September. I'm supposed to go overseas at some point to like London and Paris. So once I have those dates, I can announce that and have Emma help, you know.
Take me with you.
Exactly. Right? And just some more of the modeling and stuff. As far as where to find me, Instagram is probably the best bet. We're working on getting my website up right now. It's Brittany, BRITTANY.KAY official at I believe it's that at, you know, Instagram, or some variation of that, because I know that in my TikTok is like, I think it's BrittanyK.official. Because apparently Brittany K is a very common name, and I did not realize this.
I mean, someone whose photography name is Katie K, I understand that wholeheartedly.
I was like, wow. And my favorite is they'll be like, oh, you're from the South, so is that like Mary Kay? Is Kay your middle name? I'm like, no, that's my last name.
Yo, that's such a stereotype.
It is, but it's hilarious every time. Or I'll get no, you're not from the South. You don't have that twang. And I'm like, hey, y'all, I'm from the South. So I can. Like, I can, but yeah. Thank you, Emma, for saying. I was like, I know that period is there.
So if y'all want, in the fashion world, you need the best PR in fashion, please call Emma Medeiros, and I hope I said her name right so she don't get mad at me later. Thank you everyone for tuning in. Next week we got Infamous Ty in the building. We'll figure out who we got on the live with us. You'll find out soon. Catch us everywhere, www.rawrzonenyc.com. Damn, I said it wrong, didn't I? She will. Oh my God, no. rawrzonenyc.com. Follow us everywhere, YouTube, Twitch, all social media, Rawrzone NYC. Catch us Wednesdays at 8 a.m. on Pulso 82.3 FM. Fridays at 3 on the Evening Rush Radio Network. From myself and the beautiful Brittany K, I bid y'all a too sweet, a good fight, and a good night. Yes, we're a wrestling podcast too. But please tap in with Medeiros Fashion Public Relations. If you don't follow them, I don't know what the fuck is wrong with you. Y'all a bum. You're a dub. Sorry. We'll be in London Fashion Week while y'all be staying at home not following us. But
It'll probably be raining.
yeah, man. Good night, everyone.
Night.
Oh, and take this lesson from our sponsor.
I've got one more thing to say, and it'll only take me a second. I've got 2 words that I want you all to remember. They're very important. And if I leave you with anything, I'm going to leave you with these 2 words. And those 2 words are, I'm Batman.